Welcome, everyone, to episode 39 of the Chris Perish podcast. My name is Chris Perish, and before we get started, I want to make sure that we get through all the house rules, and the house rules indicate we must thank our sponsors, and that's right. If you look over to the side, my thumb is pointing, you see the Turnbuckle Studios logo, and that means one thing. With the thanks to Turnbuckle Studios, I was able to become one of the first members of the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, and you can be too if you go to affiliationprogram.my.canva.site. And if you want to go over to this side, you see the rogueenergy.com logo. Well, the Rogue Energy logo. But if you go to rogueenergy.com, you can check out all their flavors, whether it's my favorite, the blue raspberry, whether it's a strawberry kiwi, whether it's a strawberry banana, whether it's blood orange, or all the other amazing flavors. If you just want to get, maybe if you're an American citizen, you want some of those amazing flavor cans, you can do so. Just make sure that when you're at that checkout menu and you want to save a little bit of money, know that I got you covered with my promo code PERISH, PERISH, and you can save yourself 10%. And by liking and subscribing and following and sharing the Chris Perish podcast and using that Rogue Energy promo code, the more you do that, the more they're going to be like, you know what, we should make this guy an affiliate. And that 10% will increase. So help me become a Rogue affiliate so you can get a larger discount code. Now, for this weekend only, go there, and if you want to save a little bit more, you can use the promo code BOGO50, and you can buy one and get one free half price for this weekend only, just for their Labor Day sales. Now, with all the house rules out of there, I also want to take this opportunity to thank every single one of you that do decide to spend your time, your Sunday morning, alongside myself and watch the Chris Perish podcast. I am very, very thankful for you. Now, what a weekend we've been having here so far. We just saw a great PLE provided by the WWE Lab in Berlin, Germany, known as Bash in Berlin. So let's give a little bit of a rundown and some quick thoughts about what we thought of that PLE. First, we opened up with the Universal WWE Undisputed Championship match, where champion Cody Rhodes defended against friend Kevin Owens, who he handpicked to be his opponent. Kevin Owens reluctantly accepted it, didn't think he was deserving, and then all of a sudden, with the help of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, helped kind of try to divide some separation between them, allowing the information of Kevin Owens' past. That was, he turns on every single one of his partners. Thus, when we went into that match, we had the story of whether or not Kevin Owens was going to turn on Cody Rhodes. Kevin Owens even mentioned on SmackDown that during this trip in Germany that he thought Cody Rhodes hurt his knee. Cody Rhodes assured him that his knee was fine, but did it as we went into the match. These two battled it out. They went toe-to-toe. They went move for move with one another. We were hitting crossroads. We were hitting stone cold stunners. We even saw an attempt for a Cody cutter where Cody could not perform the move because his knee gave out. Kevin Owens reluctantly went after the knee. In fact, he tried. He fought within himself. And if you saw this match, you saw how hard he was fighting, just fighting internally, just making sure that he didn't do what everybody thought he was going to do. He showed compassion for his friend, and he made sure the referee checked on him. However, they took it all to the outside. Kevin Owens went to go check. He got met with some fists from Cody Rhodes, only for just then the instinct of, when I get hit, I look and I see red, and he kicks that injured knee. He goes for the power bomb on the apron, but before he could lift him up, he has had hesitation yet again, second-guessing himself, second-guessing of whether or not he wants to hurt, because he knows just from the past, Chris Jericho's been no quiet man about this. That apron powerbomb hurts a lot. Kevin Owens throws Cody Rhodes aside just to put him back into the ring. Goes to finish off the match inside the squared circle, but can't get the job done. Cody Rhodes ends up picking up the win, retaining his title, but the story really shows Kevin Owens fought tooth and nail within himself to not do what everyone was thinking he was going to do, proving to everyone that he was a different man. As we have Bobby Stats Benito coming in saying, hello, Bobby, how are you? So really, does Kevin Owens' hesitation, does his inner self come to play? Did it cost him a chance to become champion 8 years after becoming Universal Champion, not liking how that worked, did not like the picture of Triple H handing him the title? Kevin Owens did not succeed trying to do things the right way. So does that play a part in what we see from Kevin Owens moving forward? How is the friendship between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes? Bobby Benito coming in and saying, I'm looking forward to watching NXT No Mercy tonight. And guess what, Bobby? I am too, as you're going to be able to see the PLE Patrol live from Turnbuckle Studios come full force at No Mercy as we do a watch along to No Mercy. That's right, it's myself. It's with Chris Best, who you saw yesterday, not just doing the PLE to Bash in Berlin, but also with Saturday Night Gaming. And then also a member of the Boar's Nest, a member of the PlayStation Showcase, and a member of the Raw Patrol, and sometimes there for Turnbuckle Talk on Tuesdays. OMD will be joining us as well. And if people, you want to join us, send me a message and we'll get it going. But if you want to just come and watch our tomfoolery, make sure you're checking out Turnbuckle Studios on Twitch, on Facebook, Chris Best on Facebook, as well as the Chris Perish Twitch, and you'll be able to watch all of the tomfoolery capitalized and bolded in its all goodness later today with No Mercy and the PLE Patrol. Second match we had in Bash at Berlin was absolutely fantastic. We had the women's tag team title match, and we saw champions Unholy Union defend those titles against Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. And I will tell you this, I thought this match was absolutely amazing. I thought these four had absolutely amazing chemistry, and I thought this was such a great match. Typically in the shows, you go and the second match of the night tends to be the match. You get up, you go fill up that cup, you go get something to eat, you go to the bathroom, you maybe pick up the food that you ordered to watch this show with. But this was the match that you could not miss a single second of, because I thought Jade Cargill, one of her best performances coming into WWE. I thought Bianca Belair was absolutely amazing. And I thought the team of Isla Dawn and Elba Fire, the Unholy Union, absolutely were in just stride and just defining what the current age of women tag team was. And I thought it was just fantastic. We saw new champions crown Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. As soon as Jade Cargill got in the ring and got that hot tag, you knew the tides were changing. That storm was coming at full blast, and there was no way. It blew all the flames away that Alba Fire and Isla Dawn could throw. Jade Cargill pins Isla Dawn to reclaim those tag team championships that they lost earlier in the year in Europe as well. Bobby Roode coming in and saying, I would build up contenders like Katana Chance and Kaden Carter and JC Jane and Jasmine Nix and Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson to go up against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Bobby, I think that's a great idea. I think you need to take this opportunity to move the tag titles all around Raw, all around SmackDown, and into NXT. This is an opportunity right now to showcase the depth of that women's division, and even more specific, the women's tag team division. And using stars like Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill to go through the ringer, as we'd say, and just prove that they are the top of the top. And if by chance there was a time you do a crossover with TNA with women, how about the women tag champions against the knockout tag team champions? Who wouldn't want to see Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill show up at TNA and challenge the knockout team champions in a champion versus champion match? But I like what you're doing. Let's build up some tag teams. And we also have to throw in Io Sky and Kairi Sane. We also got to throw in Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. And then Piper Niven and Chelsea Green as well. I think it's absolutely no shock that there is a very, very deep division here. We just got to now start building the characters so we can get emotionally and physically invested, because we need to get invested in this tag team division because it has all the ingredients in it. Bob coming in saying Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell. Absolutely correct. And yeah. So again, so many tag teams, so many opportunities here. Let's see what they have moving forward. And then who's to say, what about even Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax, if you want to go that route? Could we see any of the singles superstars like Bayley maybe form a tag team? Maybe we see Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai come back, or Dakota Kai and Raquel Rodriguez. So many options, so many opportunities come in. So let's keep our eyes open on those women's tag team championships. But yes, I would love to see some NXT inclusion. Had that match last night not been all the way over in Germany and NXT being in Denver today, now it's not impossible, but I would love to see the new tag team champions sit ringside in NXT No Mercy. Again, very difficult. Don't know if it's plausible, but if it is, what a great sight that would be. Third up, we had the strap match, Bash at Berlin, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, and this match absolutely delivered on every single cylinder. A lot of people are saying this is one of their favorite strap matches that they've seen. That's, of course, subjective. I will give you what I think is factual. CM Punk absolutely proved that he still can perform at the highest level with his performance at Bash in Berlin. He claims after this match, because let's kind of go back. They had everything. You didn't see a lot of attempts to win early. You saw a lot of hesitation from an attempt to touch the corners and win. You saw from both Drew, you saw both from CM Punk. They wanted to inflict pain. They wanted to beat their opponent up. We saw aggression. We saw a lot of brutality. We saw a lot of violence in this match. And what I thought they did here was they gave you something else to look forward to. We saw nothing but in-ring from Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. We saw a great women's tag team match. And now we're getting something completely different in just straight up violence and aggression and emotional aggression. And I think that just gave us so much to look forward to. These men absolutely put it all out there. We saw a nice little tribute to Bret Hart with the sharpshooter from CM Punk. CM Punk also wearing the same gear of his last AEW appearance, if nobody caught on those little details. So, yeah, just a little thing that I picked up on. But we also saw CM Punk step out from the criticism of he doesn't have it anymore. He stepped out of the doubt. He stepped out of the naysayers. He showed up. He stepped up. He got the win. He got his bracelet back, and CM Punk is now on the winning track. And he stated in a backstage interview after his match, he was done with Drew McIntyre. He is looking forward to bigger and better things. In fact, his sights were on the winner to Gunther and Randy Orton, which we'll get to in just a few minutes. Next up, we had the mixed tag team match of Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan versus Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley. Members of the Judgment Day versus the Twin Terrors. And this match, for all accounts, we're going absolutely great. And this is my opinion here. Just an absolute great match. We saw the expected, and that was JD McDonough. That was Carlito. Form a distraction to allow Finn Balor to get his hands on Damian Priest and get that cheap shot in. Here is where this match fell flat for me. That meant nothing. That didn't give Dominic Mysterio the win. In fact, it gave him an advantage that was basically taken away when Damian Priest kicked out of the 619 and Frog Splash, only for Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley to then, as the two, take out the entire Judgment Day and pick up the victory. This is where I do not like it. To me, numbers should matter. If I'm now Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, Carlito, JD McDonough, I'm looking at each other saying, where did we go wrong? Why is this still a group if we cannot beat two people? What do we need to add? And in my eyes, I look at this. You just kicked out your muscle on the men's side and on the women's side. What did you expect? The two most recent people in that faction to be world champions in their division, you just kicked out. They are two of the hottest single acts in WWE from your group. And you didn't replace that with anything else. You just replaced it with a lot of jealousy and a lot of greed. But going back to the match, I think Finn Balor and JD McDonough have a lot. Though I would, honestly, if you ask me, I'm starting to feel a lot less invested in the Judgment Day with this loss, because clearly, collectively, they can't do anything progressive. They couldn't get together and finish the task, and that was defeat the Terror Twins. If you ask me, on Monday, I'm kicking Carlito out, and I'm bringing somebody in. And who that person is, I don't know. Maybe if I'm Finn Balor and I'm JD McDonough, I bring in Bronson Reed. Now, that would be a game changer for the Judgment Day. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think now Judgment Day are in a state of flux, and I have no idea what I would do with them. All I know is what they have right now is not working. So what do they do now? If they are going to stay together, what does the Judgment Day do from here? You could not come together and defeat Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley on 5-on-2. Yeah, flip side, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. I can understand people saying, I want Damian Priest to get his up and ups on Finn Balor now. Okay. For Rhea Ripley, I want my title back. Bobby coming in and saying, I feel Finn Balor and JD McDonough should be focused on defending their tag team championships on Raw. Exactly. And I think, too, like this is the perfect time for a tag team to get in the heads of JD and Finn. Challenge them while they're vulnerable. And who is a great pairing at that? How about Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy from the Wyatt Six? What happens if the Wyatt Six target the tag team titles? Just saying. I think it would be a completely fresh idea. But yeah, then we go to the main event of the night, and that was the hometown hero, even though he's from Austria. People, I'm not going into a history lesson, but it counts. The world heavyweight champion Gunther goes up against the man he defeated with an asterisk in the King of the Ring finals, Randy Orton, the Viper. Now, a lot of this match was to erase that asterisk that was the King of the Ring. Backstory, they were in the finals. Gunther got the win. Randy Orton's shoulders weren't all the way down on the mat. The referee missed it, but it was too late to correct. Therefore, there was a match to be had. Randy Orton, as the calculative mastermind that he is, decided not to do it right after, but he waited till Gunther cashed in the King of the Ring opportunity when he got a chance to face Damian Priest at SummerSlam for that World's Heavyweight title. Got that title, said, you know what? Now when he's heavyweight champion, that's when I'll go. Thus, this is why we have the match. We get a little bit of promos in between. They had Randy Orton beat Kaiser. But eventually this all leads to Bash in Berlin, the main event. And let me tell you something. These two men did not disappoint. They absolutely went out and just put on a show. Randy Orton's entrance was amazing, and it really looked like he came out of a mouth of a viper. Just with the setup of the stage, with how everything was, with Berlin shouting his theme song, he looked like he had everything going. He had a few RKOs in this match, but it was not enough. He even tried to focus in on the arm of Gunther, and for a large part of this match, he was taking it to the Ring General. We have not seen Gunther being this vulnerable in a match in a very long time, if ever, in WWE. However, as a champion, you need to be able to dig deep, and that's exactly what Gunther did, as he made Randy Orton pass out with the legs of a sleeper hold. Relentless on it. He even had to endure a lot of attempts by Randy Orton to get out, but nothing allowed Gunther to not be focused, not to be just attacked. The Viper was not the most aggressive on its prey in this match. It was the World Heavyweight Champion. Bobby Badino coming in saying it was nice to see Ludwig Kaiser on Bash in Berlin. That is right. As Bobby is pointing out, typically in a title match at a PLE, we have both competitors in the ring, while the ring announcer, in this case Samantha Irvine, does her job and announces the competitors. She announces Randy Orton, but before she could even start with Gunther, we see a hand come in, and that hand belonged to Ludwig Kaiser, who made that introduction in his hometown, because he is German born. And he announces the ring general, the world heavyweight champion. And it was just a nice little touch. And as Bobby said, it was great. He wasn't even part of the match. It was just even more fantastic. So the single fact that we got a straight up world heavyweight title match in all of its honesty, no asterisks. Chris Best asked me on the stream yesterday during the PLE Patrol as if this had an asterisk. I'm like, absolutely not. Gunther took it to Randy Orton so much that he was physically unable to go further. Thus, the referee had to stop the match. To me, that solidified the canceling of the asterisks from Randy Orton's claim from King of the Ring. I think Gunther can now look forward. He has stamped his foot. He has stomped his foot on the neck of the Viper, and now he can look forward to the next challenge. What is that challenge? Is it the straight edge superstar? Is it maybe someone else? Could we see someone else pop up and challenge the ring general, Ilya Dragunov, perhaps? We will see. That is why we have to tune in tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw, where you can catch the live reactions, the live fun and tomfoolery, where the Raw Patrol comes right back at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Turnbuckle Studios. That was Bash and Berlin. As I like to do, I like to make fun of Dave Meltzer a little bit because, well, who doesn't? And instead of 5 stars, let's do it. Ranking out of a 6-beer pack, how many beers would you give WWE Bash at Berlin or Bash in Berlin? I'm going to give it a 4.85. I don't think there was a lot that they did wrong. I would have sped up a little. I would have sped up and changed a little bit of the Punk McIntyre match. The one actually gripe I did have in that match was that we saw the time be a factor of the cancellation of the lights when you touch a turnbuckle. So say if Drew McIntyre touched a light, but he took longer than 30 seconds, then it would nullify his touch and you have to go over and do it again. Bobby coming in saying 4.9. So we're on the same wavelength as we tend to always be, Bobby. But during CM Punk's last and successful attempt to touch all 4 in succession, he was hitting go to sleeps. He was getting the bracelet off. It seemed like he was taking longer than the 30 seconds, and that just didn't come to play. And that's kind of my gripe. Maybe it's a small little gripe. It's consistency. For me, I would have just sped it up, and I would have maybe I hit a go to sleep. I get number 1. Okay. I'm working my way to number 2. I get that number 2. Right when CM Punk is in the middle of the second and third turnbuckle, we see Drew McIntyre come with a big clothesline. He ducks, he hits the ropes, back in a fireman's carry, hits a third one. CM Punk hits number 3. He noticed Drew McIntyre is out. He goes, he picks up the bracelet, he puts it back on. We're about maybe 10, 15 seconds in. The crowd erupts. And then he slams that final one for a 10. Just tighten it up. Essentially do the same thing, but just tighten up. That is my only gripe about that match. Very small. They're more perfect. They're the professionals, and I'm the spectator. I'm very aware. But that is my only gripe about that match. Bobby Badino saying, I would have Ilya Dragunov show up on Bash of Berlin last night and show up after the main event match between Gunther and Randy Orton. I would have teased something with Dragunov and Gunther for sure. Maybe it would have been just a backstage good luck or something like that. It really did feel like last night WWE allowed Gunther to have a moment, and his moment. He main evented, I believe, their first time in Berlin in 27 years. As World Heavyweight Champion, he came back to the country that it all started for him. He represented the largest company in the world as one of its as World Heavyweight Champion. I don't think it could have gotten any bigger for him. And he faces one of the most decorated competitors of all time. So I think WWE just gave Gunther his night. A night to remember, a night for him. I can't think that's not one of Gunther's most proudest nights as a professional wrestler. But yeah, it's something maybe in the backstage where maybe you do it earlier in the show. But we have Gunther being interviewed, and we see Ilya Dragunov walk by, and they just have maybe it's not even a good look. Maybe it's just a stare down. Something similar that they had that Monday when Ilya was drafted to Raw, and we saw that little brief interaction with them. That I do think we should have had something like that. That would have been nice. But yeah. And then obviously I wasn't a big fan of the finale of the mixed tag. No, I didn't hate the match. Don't hate the match. In fact, I'm loving the story. It's just so many twists and turns. I just really, really, really disliked how they finished this match. But yeah. But as Bobby Burdino is coming in saying we have a WWE No Mercy later tonight, and that's right. But before I want to do that, I want to share some news. This person broke the news yesterday on their social media live at an OVW show. But Victoria, the former WWE Women's Wrestler Victoria, has announced that she has signed what used to be called a Legends deal, now is called a Nostalgia deal with WWE, which allows WWE to sell Victoria action figures, add her in the video games, use her likeness, use all that stuff. So we will be seeing more Victoria in the days to come within the WWE. And I think that's just absolutely wonderful. I had an opportunity to meet Victoria at a Cauliflower Alley Club, and we talked a lot of Ninja Turtles because she had worn a backpack that was a Ninja Turtle shell, and I thought that was fantastic. So we nerded out a little over the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And Bobby saying, awesome for Victoria. That really is. Pardon me. But yeah, no, just absolutely good news. I am loving that the fact that this is not somebody who's like so past their prime. It's not like a 50 to 60-year-old person. Like before, we'd always see like Bruno Sammartino do it in his 80s, or we'd be seeing tag teams that just aren't active or able to perform. I still have a feeling there could be a match or two for Victoria. In fact, I'll even say this. How cool would it be for Victoria to join the stable as kind of like the one behind of Sonya, Shayna, and Zoe? Right on cue. Right away, if I was to pull somebody in that match, Lyra Valkyria. I think stylistically, these two would have a fantastic match. Bailey's another one I think would be fantastic. I guess it all depends on the situational of this. But, I mean, I would love to see Victoria kind of be used in a managerial role, or even just, that advocate kind of type role. But in terms of matches, if she was to have a one-off or a couple matches, I would love a match with Lyra. I think Lyra would stand to benefit a lot from that. Bobby coming in saying Bianca Belair or Michin. So it looks like you want Victoria on the SmackDown side of things if we were to do it right now. I mean, I guess if we kind of want to do something, what happens to Victoria? Think about this. Maybe what if Victoria replaces Paul Ellering in the Final Testament? And maybe that allows Scarlett and Victoria to do some things together. Yeah, just an idea that I had. But, yeah. No, that is, I don't know, to me that is a very intriguing thing. I'm just happy that we have Victoria back. Does that mean we get the tattoo theme? Because I like that theme. I didn't really like the one that followed after. Not really. But we are ways in. We're not going to go long today because we do have a PLE patrol later today where we're going to be a few hours deep. I'm going to be quite honest, I have a few fantasy football drafts, and I need to be focused on that. But I do want to talk a little bit No Mercy. I also do want to inform everyone, once again, what you can expect to see from Turnbuckle Studios moving forward. But first, I'm also going to show you a nice little clip or a nice little video from Rogue Energy, just to appreciate everything Rogue Energy has done for the Chris Perish podcast. So just get right back to those house rules. Thank you to Rogue and Turnbuckle Studios. And yeah, a lot of great content. So make sure, as the video says, please like, follow, subscribe to all the platforms, whether it's Turnbuckle Studios, Boar's Nest, Chris Best, Chris Perry podcast. Go to their Facebooks, go to their YouTubes, go to their Twitches if you have the opportunity to like and share and follow. If also you want to catch the Chris Perish podcast and maybe just watch a little bit of old episodes, make sure you're going to my Spotify account and doing that. And just remember that every live episode of the Chris Perish podcast will be uploaded to Spotify within an hour after the live stream. But we do have WWE No Mercy. So again, quick little tidbits. Nothing has changed in the last few weeks when we're going and talking about No Mercy. But just so you can get a little bit excited, we do have a lot of great matches. We do have Joe Hendry challenging Ethan Page for that heavyweight championship. And man, who do you go? Like who do you want to walk out? Like, can we not admit that we are enjoying this title reign of Ethan Page? Has he not just absolutely been a welcome addition to NXT since he has come into the scenes? I mean, for one, I think he's just been just absolutely refreshing, and I'm enjoying it. He's allowing me. He single-handedly, to me, made me not bored of Trick Williams, because I felt the longer Trick Williams' title run would go on, the more I would be pushed away from it. We saw with just over time, whether it was Braun Breaker, whether it was, even on the main roster, guys like John Cena and Roman Reigns, we've seen babyface champions just kind of have maybe too long of title reigns, and they're just like, yeah, but when the right heel comes in and they have that number, why can't you just do that and then you cut it, and then months down the road you can go back to it. Bobby coming in saying, I've been enjoying Ethan Page on NXT that I did in AEW. And I think that's a very fair statement. And it's not a shot to AEW. It's just, and we could say the same thing about, guys from WWE who went on to AEW that are doing really well. Guys like Pac, who I think has been doing a fantastic thing. It's just Ethan Page didn't have the opportunities that he has in NXT there. And he has matured. He is, at a different point of his career now. He has put it all together, and we're seeing a lot of that come together in NXT. And he's been given an opportunity to roll as NXT champion, and I think he's doing a great job. In fact, I'm flat out going to say this. I don't want him to lose the championship. So give me one of two things. Give me either Josh Alexander costing Joe Hendry this win, or give me Trick Williams turning on Joe Hendry. But I want to see all ego Ethan Page walk out of No Mercy still champion. And with that being said, I bring in the Joe Hendry's number one fan, Chris Best. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Bobby, coming in because I feel Ethan Page got lost in the shuffle in AEW. And that's, unfortunately, that's what happens in the wrestling business. People can get lost in the shuffle sometimes, and they have to go elsewhere. Even Cody Rhodes once got lost in the shuffle, went elsewhere, came back. Look what he's doing. And then after Tony Khan was signing new wrestlers. So, yeah, I mean, I think this match is going to be fantastic. But I do think, and this is my one, maybe a criticism, I don't know. Because with all the amazing stuff that we were seeing from Joe Hendry, the Cashy thongs just being absolutely just on fire, being viral, doing so much outside, I don't want to say outside of wrestling, but he's putting a lot of eyes in him. So when he does make appearances, and we can admit that his appearances on NXT right now are a lot more bigger than anywhere else he's gone. he is definitely someone who is really capitalizing on the platform that WWE and NXT can provide you. And I think that's doing fantastic work. I just don't know if necessarily his matches match up to his hype quite yet. And I'm not saying that because I think he's a bad wrestler. I do not think that at all. I just don't think he's had that performance. And he was close at Slammiversary. But I just don't think he's had that one performance that has been completely definitive that says, outside of the catchy theme song, outside of those concerts, outside of everything else you do, this is why you need to be the champion. Chris Bass is doing great, but busy editing for tonight's PLE Patrol. Bobby coming in saying, the NXT and TNA partnership has been great, and it has been. In fact, the one name that we were used to seeing with the Unholy Union, Blair Davenport, has been backstage at TNA. She was backstage at TNA Emergence. Look for her to be maybe used in an upcoming edition of TNA Impact. So hopefully that comes to fruition. We also have Jada Parker challenging Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship, and I think they are going to open a lot of people's eyes in that match. But ultimately, I do think this is just an opportunity for Jada Parker to have that coming out party, but I do think it's designed to see Julia show up and have a face-to-face encounter with Roxanne Perez, and we have that as your next feud over the NXT Women's title. Then we have a rematch for the NXT Tag Team titles. Axiom and Nathan Frazier challenge Chase U, who defeated them just a few weeks ago for those tag team titles. And I think this is the exact moment we see Nathan Frazier turn on Axiom. Whether it's during the match, whether it's after the match, I do believe Nathan Frazier betrays his partner. And he turns heel, and we go forward with the evolution of the Nathan Frazier versus Axiom storyline. I'm going to say we saw Rich Holland get the pin on Axiom, and I think we're going to see Andre Chase pin Nathan Frazier in this match. We also have Wesley taking on Zachary Wentz. And Zachary Wentz just became X Division champion on Friday at TNA Emergence. He won the Ultimate X match. I don't see this match being for the championship, but also wouldn't surprise me. But at the same time, I do think the TNA X Division Championship title does come into play with either Wesley using it to pick up the win, or maybe we see Trey Miguel come in and accidentally hit Zachary Wentz with it. But I do think right now we are just focused on Wesley and Zachary Wentz. I don't think a lot of people are talking about Trey Miguel. And that's a third part of this Rascal group that remains to be talked about. Even though, yes, the match is one-on-one, Lee versus Wentz. You have to think, does Trey Miguel have some part in this match? What does he do? Does he align with one? Does he do something else? Are we going to a Rascal triple threat? Bobby coming in saying Wesley wins in a non-title match, has earned a title match at TNA Victory Road on September 13th. Yes. And September 13th, Victory Road, the main event of that pay-per-view is Nick Nemeth versus Moose in a TNA championship match. That was, leaked or put out yesterday. But yes, that is something that we can now look forward to seeing as well. What else do we have? We have Wendy Chu going up against Kalani Jordan for that Women's North American Championship match. And I think this is going to be an opportunity where, as we've seen in the past, Rosemary came on NXT TV and seemed to be aligned with Wendy Chu. I don't know if necessarily Rosemary will be there, but you know what? I'm going to say Kalani Jordan, just given how this is going. I'm going to say Kalani Jordan picks up the win and retains the title. If I think Ethan Page wins, if I think we have a breakup of a tag team, if I think we have just all these, like, especially with what if I think Wesley's going to go over, we need a little bit more pick-me-up moments. I think Kalani Jordan having that surprise shock win might be one of those things. So I'm going to change my pick to Kalani Jordan, retaining her championship. Plus, it is her first big PLE as champion, or her main PLE as champion. So I'll go Kalani Jordan retaining here because I think Lola Vice might be the person who takes the title off Kalani Jordan. But yeah, no, as Chris Best is saying, I'm also intrigued with the Wendy Chu character, but it's just direction at this point. Kalani has been on a roll with the title, but still has yet to have the wow moment with the title. Yeah, and I say give her the opportunity to. Maybe we see Rosemary try to. Okay, well, here's the whole thing. Maybe we see Rosemary try to get involved, but maybe like somebody like Sol Ruka nullifies that, or we see something like that. We have Kalani Jordan pick up the win, and then maybe on an episode on Tuesdays, we will see Lola Vice kind of step up and be the next challenger. I don't know. Bobby is coming in and saying, I think someone in TNA should be the next challenger for Kalani Jordan, like Giselle Shaw or Tasha Steelz. I'm not just gonna disagree with anything, just Giselle Shaw related. As a friend of Giselle Shaw, I would be okay with that. In fact, let's do it. The more Giselle, the better. Yeah. You won't hear any argument from here about Giselle Shaw or from Gigi Ray. Nope, not one. And then lastly, we have the men's North American Championship matches. We have Tony D'Angelo against Oba Femi. I really have a hard time going against Oba Femi, but I do think if there's one person that makes a lot of sense into just taking the title off Oba Femi, with Oba Femi's intention to move up into the heavyweight title picture, I think Tony D'Angelo is the perfect guy to do it. So I go with Tony D'Angelo. I do think we're going to see a lot going on in this match, but ultimately, and I think it's something here. I think no matter what happens, Oba Femi he raises the hand of Tony D'Angelo. There's a handshake. There's an acknowledgement of what Tony D'Angelo did. Actually, in fact, I think this is a straight up one-on-one match with Tony D'Angelo having his breakout moment and defeating Obafemi. And it's just what we saw a lot at Bash in Berlin. Respect. You beat the champ, and the champ does not have anything, no remorse. He just respects the efforts of Tony D'Angelo. So, yeah, and here's the thing. Maybe the no quarter catch crew come out and Tony's family comes out to nullify them. That way, if Tony then wins, he can go up against somebody like Mr. Dempsey after. And that could be your direction for the North American Championship. No, I think it makes sense. However, that is what I have as a prediction. If you want to see the live reaction to No Mercy, make sure you're checking out that PLE Patrol later today at 8 p.m. Eastern Time live here on the Twitch Chris Perish stream, but also on Turnbuckle Studios on YouTube and on Twitch, as well as Chris Best's, I believe, YouTube page, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Twitch, maybe, I don't know. But Chris Best, let us know what platform are we using for you on the PLE Patrol. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, what's going to be what would be the one thing you're looking most forward to for No Mercy tonight? And Chris Best is saying his YouTube page. So make sure you're checking out CBRS_entertainment on YouTube. Turnbuckle Studios on YouTube. Turnbuckle Studios on Twitch, as well as this Twitch, the Chris Perish, as well. For that, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, that PLE Control for NXT No Mercy. And we will have a lot of fun with that. I've been Chris Perish. You guys have been simply amazing. I appreciate you so much. This has been episode 39 of the Chris Perish podcast. For all everything else that I have going forward, make sure you're checking out my Linktree, linktr.ee/Chris Perish. You can get up to speed with all my doings. Also, for the blast that is my Instagram page, I thank everyone. Over 200 new followers in just this week. It's been crazy. But yeah, if you haven't, please like me on YouTube, like me on X, Twitter. I'm very close to 1,000 on each, so please, I'd appreciate you. Bobby coming in saying Joe Hendry versus Jean Page, Roxanne Perez versus Jada Parker are matches that I'm looking forward to watching. Same here. But before we do that, I want to say thank you. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I appreciate you. And lastly, 1 week to kick off, but go Saints. Good night.
Rip through the clouds, faster, catch us from